Hello and namaskar. I am Sanjeev Pandya welcoming you to the Face to Face right here on ITV Gold. As the title of the show suggests, face to face, of course, we bring an individual who is very exceptional in their own field, and we talk to them face to find out who they are and what do they do and why are they so exceptional. Today in Face to Face, I am going to introduce you a person who is amazingly doing a job that perhaps no one can think of it, and he's been doing it for decades, and it's very interesting. He's actually from Andhra Pradesh, India. He's got his medical degree from Andhra Pradesh, and after getting medical degree, of course, doctors are doctors, but there are some doctors who want to do something really meaningful. And after getting the degree, how he continued doing the social work and how he got involved in it, that's what we're going to talk to. So today, our guest is Dr. VK Raju. He's with us. I'd like to welcome him. Dr. Raju, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
Happy to have you. And like I said, that I'm looking forward to talk to you more, because after reading your bio and after reading your life and the selfless community service that you've been doing, it's just simply amazing. And I'm sure that our viewers will find out more about you and your service. So it's going to be very interesting. What we're going to talk about, why Dr. VK Raju decided to do this, what he decided to do, and especially for people in India. I'd like to begin with one of your quotes that you were saying, if blindness is preventable, then let us do it big. I like that quote. If blindness is preventable, let's do it big. And you really have done it big. Now let's talk about blindness. Obviously in a country like India, there are hundreds and thousands of individuals who need certain kind of eye care. After getting your medical degree and then you became a doctor, why did you involve in this community service and philanthropy work?
Yeah. Well, those days, after finishing my MBBS from Andhra Pradesh, went to London to do FRCS, Fellow of the Royal College of Surgeons. That's all our dream those days. We all went with $8. Around the world in $8, there was a movie by Raj Kapoor.
Yes.
We went with $8. India gave us a stellar medical education, so we shined there. So I finished my FRCS, wanted to go back to India, but I did not have a teaching job. So looking for a lot of connections, my chief, very well known in corneal transplants, he introduced somebody in West Virginia, so I came to West Virginia. Even before that, I went on a holiday to India. I was doing ophthalmology for so many years in London. 6 years I was there. A farmer came and asked to show me his eyes.
When you visited India?
Yeah.
Okay.
From London. I did not have any instruments. I went for a vacation. I thought, my God, this is something like a fish out of water. He wants me to examine, and I didn't have. I looked at it, but I did not do what right exam. And then, after that, step after step, I came to United States. And United States gives you so many ideas.
Yes. The
Library of Congress, things like that. So, I heard about camps in India. I thought I must do it. So I called a couple of my friends, the Rotarians, and all that. In '77, we did the first eye camp. After that, I could not stop because I saw so many children with eye problems. We never see that many children in the United States. The same problems occur here too, but the numbers, for if there is a cataract in a child here, 1, there are 4 of them in India. But here, accessibility, affordability, can have an access very easily. But there, things have changed in the last 25, 30 years. Wonderful ophthalmologists doing a great job, but still we have a long way to go. So I asked some companies, they gave some products, and I could not stop. My mother used to say, whatever you do, you keep on doing. If you keep on watching cricket hours and hours and hours, you keep on watching cricket. If you do something like this with the children's vision, initially I did not think about children's vision, but when I saw this, I think children are going to miss a great deal. A 5 cents vitamin A, if you can give a child, in a malnutrition child, 2 years, you can give a 75 years of life Let me repeat that, 75 years of life.
Really?
Lot of people think cataracts, you get it only in old age. You can be born with a cataract. The kid there with a patch, he had a cataract. We removed the cataract surgery, put an implant too. So you can see how happy is the right eye is already operated. So when you do not reach these children in the first months to 1 or 2 years, their brain cells get neglected and they'll be blind forever because they get the vaccinations. India has done incredible things after the independence, all the vaccinations. And of course, nutrition is improving. If somebody did not look at those eyes, did not do the cataract surgery, he is blind for 75 years. So I took it in 79, the first instrument that came in, very safely technology, that is a start of technology, late 70s. Any specialty, incredible technology we have. There are about 40 major breakthroughs, late 70s to today. With today's resources, today's technology, we don't need to leave these children blind at all.
And of course, support from the people also. A lot of people support.
Absolutely support.
That's what
political will, professional will,
right,
and a people's will.
True.
If these three combine, just like this is a polio flower,
yes,
there is no more polio on the planet because of the Rotary International, but they all brought these three wills.
That makes a difference. All right. I like to mention what you just said about your mother. Your mother said that if you do something, continue to do one thing. That means stay focused, stay dedicated, and do whatever you can for that cause. And I think you have picked on this cause. I want to take you back to mid-70s when you met the farmer, when you decided to do something. Let's talk about, I'm sure it has not been an easy ride for you. Today, proudly you can say that you have done this and you have even donated your own money, which is $1.5 million and everything. But in the beginning, let's just talk about your struggle. When you started to do that, what kind of struggle that you went through and how you found silver lining out of all that struggle to continue to do this?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you asked, but I want to forget about the struggles, but one I will mention.
Please.
The instrument we took is called acutome, the first cutting instrument. You put 2 needles very safely under, of course, general anesthesia. Even the youngest I did was a 7-day-old baby.
Oh, wow.
It can be done because if they got complete blockage, light doesn't enter and stimulate the back of the eye, they can be blind forever. So we did, that's called acutome. This is an instrument of $25,000 instrument. Yes, I was stopped in Mumbai airport like a criminal for 6 hours.
Wow.
But those are the ones I want to forget about it. What is that we can do today together?
All right. Today now you settle in West Virginia.
And it is not like that in customs today.
Yes.
I just, a couple of years ago, I took 2 lasers and I gave the foundation's name and a little couple of papers. Sir, thank you for visiting India, and they'll let them go.
All right. So now let's just continue from there onwards. Listen, sometimes in the days of glory, it's always good to remember days of dark, because days of dark gives you inspiration, it gives you energy, and it also gives you more of thinking power of what you want to do. Without struggle, nothing can be achieved. All right. So now let's come to a point. Now you're settled in West Virginia. You are a full-time practitioner ophthalmologist, and you still continue to do this humanitarian services in India to make sure that the blindness is almost gone.
Not just India. Our capacity is what India is, average Indians together, world without childhood blindness. Although I started in India, we're involved in quite a few. Afghanistan is my another one. I was there 3 times, and African countries. Indians, what we have an organization called GAPIO, Global Physicians of Indian Origin, 34,000 physicians together with a little more integrity. I call it, Radhakrishnan always wrote in his books about integrity. We can change the world.
So in India, how far in India or where exactly in India your humanitarian services has been spread? Is it like entire India or a certain region of India?
Mainly we started in rural, in Andhra Pradesh, my hometown, and and we had other blocks. And I did in Benares, some Uttar Pradesh. want to do in rural areas because 65% of India still lives in rural India. A lot of things incredible things are happening in cities, but we just to go a few more miles, and I think that is the one we have to change it like the West did it even in 30s and 40s.
Okay.
I think if we reach, why I say this, Sarvendriyanam Nayanam Pradhanam in the health, eyesight is the most important for the children,
Yes.
because 80% of learning is through vision, and if the child misses learning, is going to be blind for a lot of, and is the biggest equalizer. Like Galbraith, once Indian ambassador to India, American ambassador to India, once said, education is the biggest equalizer. And even today, he said it about 30 plus years ago. Even today, that's true. So, vision, children's vision, it must be. There are people doing it. I'm not saying nobody is doing it. We have to have a major focus, like a vaccination.
Okay. I just want to ask you one question about these kids and their vision now before we go into the break. And once we come back after the break, we're going to go more into your foundation. What I have noticed, kids, whether they're in India or they're in the US or anywhere, the kids as young as maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5, they're starting to get glasses.
Yeah.
Why is that?
You see, still the real reason we don't know. But there are certain, societies are getting sophisticated, and they're all reading, watching the TV instead of playing outside.
Okay.
It's one time,
Right.
people used to play outside most of the time and all that. Now they're all close vision. That has some effect. This is only a partial truth, but not the total truth. We still do not know. But if these children, even if they get glasses, nothing, in a way, nothing wrong. It's not
No,
a
I know,
disease.
nothing's wrong, but it's just it's just
But
something.
vision is not a damaging thing, but I agree with you what you're saying. People are all more and more close vision.
Correct.
And when I was watching this,
The phones and tablets.
these
and
are the
laptops
most
and
wonderful things, but you can do it in the wrong way too.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Dr. Raju, the Eye Foundation that you set up in West Virginia, once you started to practice and you wanted to do more, let's talk about the Eye Foundation.
As I was telling a minute ago, the earlier camps when I was doing and when I wanted to take this instrument to do the safe surgery, first instrument to India, that instrument very expensive to make safely do surgery, and it was had a tremendous problem in Mumbai airport because they have never saw that instrument before.
Yes.
And one guy is bringing this one, what is inside, and almost 6 hours, like a little criminal. We said, I got a little excited, but later other people tell me, calm down. I always take the advice when I need that advice people have given me. So when I came, my patient and attorney, very close, he is still my patient, and if I did to their family, 3 of the people I have done surgery on them, he said, Raju, form an organization, foundation.
Correct.
So he helped me. We started West Virginia Eye Foundation. When they saw my work, he said, look, you are going to Kenya. We had about 13 African countries and Afghanistan. I was in Iran. I said, no, you must make the name into, okay. We made it into Eye Foundation of America. That's how it started. And initially, I never wanted just to do it, like Nike says, just to do it. I still my principle. But with the friends, so many people have joined, and with this one, is growing and is all possible, and we are going to do more.
Amazing.
People always ask me, oh, what do you think, all these awards? And I just want to do more, that's all.
Yeah, you always want to do more. Now, I want to add one more point here that when Dr. Raju set up his foundation, Eye Foundation of America, and over that period, he has actually donated his own $1.5 million into it. Now, let's talk about it. Do people contribute to you? Are you accepting contributions from them?
Absolutely, there are some brilliant people, wonderful people are donating. One of my patients in West Virginia, he had corneal problems. He's a gas man. He did one of the biggest donations. A lot of people are donating, but as you think of money, N+1, we want more to do more.
Yes.
And one of the kids, I call him poster child of the Eye Foundation of America. His name is Srinu Maddula. He has a retail pharmacy in Philadelphia. At the age of 1.5 years, we brought him here. We did corneal transplant of all the places in Morgantown in West Virginia. Nobody heard about the place. Corneal transplant is the front of the eye. And this kid went on to finish doctorate in pharmacy, is the biggest benefactor of the foundation. He is responsible for more than 5,000 children around the world to get vision. He is my role model.
Oh, that's nice. Good. It's good to know that you have a role model, something like that.
Yeah.
This foundation basically does, most of your work is done in India to prevent blindness, and some other countries, around it, India. If you were given a chance to pick a country where if they come and ask you that, that if you go to this country, see if you can cure eye care, see if you can prevent blindness, what country you think in the world needs that kind of attention that you're giving to India?
Like India, Afghanistan, Ghana, because we are there a little bit, right. And South Africa.
Really?
Yeah, there are a lot of need is there in these countries.
Is it because of poverty? Because
yes, but that's multiple reasons. Vietnam too. I went twice to Vietnam, and it is tough to organize things in Vietnam. My friends, local friends, American friends, are very much wanting me to go to, along with them went. But in Africa and other countries, it's much easier to do it and all that. But in Vietnam is a little tough to do certain things, a little more bureaucracy.
Hopefully, maybe somebody will take inspiration from you and then go into a country like Africa, if they can find it easy, or somebody who's from Africa can perhaps take the steps.
Absolutely. There are 2 ophthalmologists in northern Ghana. We trained them in ophthalmology in India. Our institute trains people from a lot of other countries. That is the potential of India. Now, Max Muller wrote 90 years ago, a book called What India Can Teach Us. I don't know how many people know about such books. So that is the potential of India. I always think each time you frequently visit, you get incredible inspiration. Going to India, I learned something new.
Nice, okay. The Eye Foundation of America, that's the website of eyefoundationamerica.org.
Yeah.
All right, so that is the website. What do you think is the vision of Eye Foundation of America?
A permanent facility. We have already a hospital. We are outgrown, and we are building a 80,000 square feet building with the 5 floors, with emphasis on children's vision. They just started. It is there in the website, and we would like to finish it within. The COVID stops us almost like a 2.5 years delay, and it is just starting. That is the main focus of that building, of that hospital, Gautami Eye Institute in India. So people can come from other countries for care, as well as we can teach Indian doctors and things. They're all exceptional teachers and surgeons. We can bring them together to do that. I said GAPIO, Global Physicians of Indian Origin, is the organization we are very much part of, on the executive body. We can do it.
And API also can help.
Yes, API also part, indeed. Yeah.
Okay. Now, here's the thing. Let's just talk reality. In today's day and age, there are many organizations, or there are many perhaps NGOs doing a lot of eye care in India.
Yeah.
Now India has perhaps the best heart institute, best eye hospitals, or the any other categories. They are now second to best, if not the best.
Absolutely.
Do you find still a way to go deeper in the rural area to give them eye care, in spite of having all this association around you?
Absolutely, because if you say some of the best hospitals, except a few, most of them are paying patients. They're like a corporate, generally speaking.
Really?
They do a little bit and all that. I think if they do outreach programs, sure there are outreach programs too, but compared to what the population, 65%, we have to do much, much more, so that For me, what I learned in the United States, the best of United States. Radhakrishnan once said, people always say East is East, West is West. He said East plus West is the best. I learned, here we say, people in United States, not a single child left behind. So, not a single child where you can prevent or cure blindness. If we do that, I think they can do more. They are doing, but far from what we have to do whenever you think the word dharma.
And dharma, obviously, it makes difference. It's interesting to know that you started this when perhaps nobody was there, or maybe whoever was there, perhaps they were not known. So you started it 40 years ago, 45
77.
years? 77,
yeah.
Right? And you continue to do this, and you're still going in the full force and everything, in spite of having all this around and everything. Indian doctors, when they are getting their medical degrees, and they want to do something good for Indians in India.
Yeah.
But let's face it, many of them also want to go out of the country and then look forward to their own name and fame and prosperity. You recruit Indian doctors in order to continue this?
Indian doctors, and even West Virginia, for example, there are about 25 West Virginian doctors for our medical school, because I'm very closely connected with our institution. They went different specialties too. I'm glad you asked this question. One of the best things would like to, in my heart, do, especially Indian children who are, our first generation. They always say second generation. No, the guys who are born here, they're called, strictly speaking, first generation. We are immigration generation.
Yes.
They are first generation. Incredible cardiology, urology, you name a thing. If they could go to India once in a year, spend, I think they are gaining more than what they're doing to somebody. I can tell anytime they gain more than they have done something in those 2 weeks, or could be 3 weeks.
Really?
And it would be wonderful. These exceptional, they're all doing very well. Indians are 1% of
Yes.
in the population.
Absolutely.
There are 3 million Indians.
Yes.
18% of medical students are of Indian heritage.
Absolutely.
How wonderful that it is.
Yeah.
And it's the greatest profession to be in medical profession, to do some patients trust us so much. So if they can, I recruited quite a bit, but always they have something else. But if they make it a priority, just visit their father and mother's place once in a year, they benefit more than what they gave.
And more than the financial support, I think from them, influence helps. From them, knowledge helps, and the experience. When sharing all these things,
Yes.
and when you put it in one after another, obviously financial support will come. But knowledge and inspiration and experience sharing the things. Today, the doctors, whether you talk about White House, whether you talk about certain states, chief medical officer and this and that, many Indians have taken their place, and there is a lot to learn from them, and they need to contribute to their motherland.
Absolutely.
And then you've been doing a fine job. They always say that you should never forget your roots. If you happen to leave your country, and when you prosper and succeed in another country, you should never ever forget your roots, and you should always give it back to your community. And that's what you've been doing, Dr. VK Raju. It's absolutely a pleasure to speak to you. And like I said, that I've learned so much from you when it comes to philanthropy work and humanitarian services. And I wish you all the best, and may you have all this strength and force going forward for the Eye Foundation of America.
Thank you. Let me conclude with one statement
Please.
of Nelson Mandela.
Yes.
Nelson Mandela's life is incredible. Those books people have written about him. He said, the soul of a country is reflected. It may not be the exact quote may not be giving. The soul of a country is reflected how we treat our children.
Absolutely. That's where it starts.
Yeah.
That's where it starts. Because once you start taking care of children, nutrition and education and obviously, culture and everything, once you start instilling those values in it, obviously the youth is going to be very, very knowledgeable and very cultured, and it will make entire generation better.
Absolutely. There won't be need for charity if we
Yes.
do give them health, give them, somebody said, this is not my quote, just to give us health, give us education. There won't be need for charity.
Absolutely. I wish you all the best with the Eye Foundation of America.
Thank
And
you.
viewers, when you get a chance, I sincerely request you to visit the website, which is eyefoundationofamerica.org. Dr. VK Raju, still currently a practitioner ophthalmologist in West Virginia. And if you happen to watch the show in West Virginia, go to meet him and congratulate him for the work that he's been doing. And hopefully we'll have him again in the future to talk about more of Eye Foundation of America's efforts and their services to the humankind. Dr. Raju, all the best to you.
Thank you. May I add one more, because I'm very fond of Ayurvedic principles.
Ji.
Not Ayurveda, some of it practiced by, some people may not like my saying, but not to offend anybody. The roots of Ayurveda is eat right, exercise right, and not to take yourself too seriously.
Yes.
That is the root, not the herbs, other medications, other things are all maybe wonderful. But these are the roots of, if we can bring, the world is ready to bring that eating right, exercising right, and not taking ourselves too seriously. My mother always used to say that, don't take yourself too seriously.
And once you do that, you're thinking right. And then once you think right, you do right, just like you're doing.
Right.
And then Dr. Raju, we can call him Dr. VK Right instead of Dr. VK Raju.
Anytime.
Thank you so very much. And once again, our best wishes. I wish you, Dr. VK
Thank
Raju.
you.
I am Sanjeev Pandya signing off. This is the Face to Face right here on ITV Gold. Until we meet again, so long.